SEC play. It's a tough league. You're going to have tough games. We didn't fare well Wednesday night. Vanderbilt's a really good team, and we didn't play as well as we need to. So, it's on to the next one. There's 16 games left. I've looked since I've been in this league. There's been 2 teams go 16-2 to win the league. That was us both times we won the regular season. The other 4 winners have been 14-4, 15-3. So I told our guys, it's not fully in our control, but with 16 games left, it's going to be hard for Vanderbilt to run the table. We just got to take care of our business. So, and there's plenty of other teams. Vanderbilt's not the only team 2-0. There's a lot of other teams 2-0 as well. So right now, the only thing we can do is focus on Texas, and that's where our entire mindset's been, our focus. We got to move on. We got to play well, and they're a good team that's going to be hungry. They weren't planning on being 0-2 to start the league. Coach Miller's won everywhere he's been. You can tell by his press conferences he's a little frustrated with the way they're playing, and I'm sure he's got them extra motivated because they're not used to losing. So I think we'll see a different Texas team, one that's playing harder. I mean, he kind of made a statement in the second half against Tennessee with guys that he left on the floor and guys that he didn't have on the floor. So I would anticipate guys got, the wake-up call, and we'll see a little bit harder playing version of them than what, they had been in the past, because he's been on it, and he's been able to get his teams to play hard everywhere he's been pretty much every year. So we're going to have to raise our level. It's good to be back home. We'll have our home crowd here. Students are back in. It'll be the first game after the break that all the students are here, so that'll be good. As far as injuries go, Aiden Sherrill practiced some today. We'll see how he responds to it tomorrow. See, he'll be game time decision tomorrow. Hopefully feels better than he did Wednesday before the game. LeBaron practiced. He's not quite at 100%, but he's not a guy that wants to sit out games. So I anticipate him playing, and hopefully we've got the cramping issue under control. So that's that. We just got to continue to get healthy. Steven told me just now, our first 15 games, we've had 9 different starting lineups. The most we've ever had through 15 games. I mean, we've just had so many injuries. We haven't been able to, maybe get our chemistry, get everybody healthy. It's frustrating, but it's sports. It happens. You got to move on. You got to find the next guy. And despite the fact Aiden Sherrill didn't play at Vandy and LeBaron didn't play majority of the second half, we were still in that. And I told our guys after the game, there's no excuses. We had 5 guys on the floor that were more than capable of winning that game. We didn't do what it took to win the game. So that's got to be our mentality moving forward. Whoever we've got available has got to play, and we got to win the game. So if we don't have certain guys in, that's how life works. You put the guys out there and you get them ready, and you make sure they're ready to go, and you got to put guys out there that are going to play hard, execute the game plan, win the game. So it's going to be a tough outing. Swain, who transferred from Xavier, is leading them in about every statistical category. He's a tough kid. He's got size at the guard spot. He leads them in assists, steals, points, rebounds, everything. So we got to have a tough matchup. They draw fouls at a really high rate. We just had a game where Vanderbilt shot 50 free throws, so we're going to have to do a lot better job guarding with fouling. They rebound it well on the offensive end. We've had issues with our defensive rebounding, so we got to be significantly better. It would help to have Aiden Sherrill back. Obviously, with that, he does a great job. But if he's not able to play, somebody's going to have to step up, and we're going to have to rebound the ball because these guys rebound it really well.
Yeah, Holloway is 2 games away from tying LeBaron for the most 20-point games on the team this year. Just what's kind of been like his confidence growth, or just any sort of growth this last couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean, he's super skilled. We've been trying to get him more aggressive. Never turned down an open 3. Want him playing way more aggressive with the ball in his hands, getting downhill, making reads and pick and rolls. I think him and LeBaron should both be right around that 20-point mark, and depending on how other teams guard them, if they really want to key on and making sure they don't score, then the 2 of them are both capable of getting 10 assists. If they're going to play off and not really lock into them, then they could go for 30 easy. So I think the 2 of them together, when they're playing the right way, are capable of being the best backcourt in the country. We haven't seen it yet on both sides of the ball, so I've really challenged those two. We got to see it out of the defensive end. We got to see it out of the playmaking, the decision making, because you're both capable of going for 20, 30 on any given night. So, yeah, I mean, he's one of the most skilled guards in the country. Now we just got to get him playing both sides of the ball super hard the right way, and I think those two could really, lead this team to really taking off and playing a lot better.
Yeah, the season low 9 assists. Is having LeBaron for a full game just going to help that naturally, or what do you guys do to address that?
You know what? Vanderbilt's a really good defensive team. They put two guys on the ball. They swarm the ball. They collapse on it. We told them that going in. The last team I felt like that we really played that aggressive on the ball was Gonzaga, and we didn't move the ball against them either. And it didn't look great. So we told them going in, and then I didn't think we moved the ball well. So, it's one of those deals where when you see a second guy, whether it's in the gap, blitzing a ball screen, whatever it is, like you got to get off the ball. The ball's got to move. When the ball's got energy, we can move it and have high assist games. Guys shoot it better. We also didn't shoot it well from three. When the ball doesn't move, we don't get quality shots from three. And I didn't think the ball moved. So, whether LeBaron's in or out shouldn't have any effect on whether the ball moves, because we got guys more than capable of moving the ball. We didn't move the ball well enough.
What do you think has caused this slump that Latrell Reitzel has been in shooting the ball this year, and just how do you think you get him out of that?
You know what, I think some of it's been all his injuries. He just hasn't been able to get in a groove. I mean, even when he's played in games, it's a lot of those games he hasn't practiced at all. He's coming back from the Achilles, so he missed all off season. And then he has the other kind of Achilles, maybe an overcompensation, whatever. And he's got the finger, and now he's got a groin deal, and it's just been one thing after the other. So I've kind of told him, like, you got to learn how to deal with adversity in life. Sometimes God puts some adversity in your life to kind of teach you some lessons, and sometimes you don't know what the lessons are being taught. We've referenced Chris Youngblood with him a few times. CY wasn't playing great at this time last year. He had just gotten healthy, had missed the whole offseason, and just stayed locked in, came back, didn't shoot as well. CY was a little frustrated with his play because he wanted it to come sooner, but it's hard when you've sat as many reps out as CY did last year and Latrell has this year to be as sharp as you'd want to be. So, but I made the point, CY's in the rotation. He's on a true two-way with OKC, and they value him as a two-way. When somebody's out, he's up and he's playing. And when they've got their full squad, he's down and he's scoring a bunch of points on their G League teams, staying ready. So I think, if Latrell could be in CY's shoes a year from now, I think he'd be really happy. So it's kind of been our point. Just stay with it, learn how to face some adversity. I gave him the book by Ryan Holiday, The Obstacle is the Way. References a lot, talked about James, welcoming trials and adversity, with great joy. So it's hard to have that mindset. I don't know that any of us naturally have that mindset. It takes a little bit of, ask the Holy Spirit to help you have that kind of mindset, because it's not natural to find joy in adversity and trials. But, that's what we're trying to talk to him about. So I think the shooting slump is more, he's been out, hasn't got the reps, and then when he does get back, I think he's pressing to make up for lost time and hurry up and make up for it. And it's not the way to do it. You just got to let the game come to you. When he lets it come to him, he's one of the best players. But we got to get him some reps. We got to get him back healthy. He's got to be able to stay healthy for an extended time, and then he's just got to let the game come. Because when he's open, even in practice, when he's not pressing, he's still one of the best shooters in the country. He just hasn't really played that well. I think he's been really pressing, try to get those numbers back up. Like, it's not going to happen in one or two games. He's got to just play the right way for a extended period of time, and all the numbers will take care of themselves at the end of the day.
When players are dealing with cramping, how much of that is preemptive, what they're doing before the game, what the training staff is doing before the game, and how much of it is circumstantial, what happens within the setting of a game?
Man, that's been the debate around here for the last couple of days because I think our team of people that take care of our guys, Amanda, our dietitian, Clark, our trainer, Henry, our strength coach, they've all looked at everything. They've got all the testing. They've tested him in practice to check his levels on stuff. They looked at past games. I mean, it's, with him, he's a guy that played 3 straight games, heavy minutes out in Vegas, and had no issues at all. It's a guy that loves to play basketball. He's out, played 3 games in one day, playing AAU growing up, never had an issue. So, obviously that gym was hot. It was packed. It was really humid. Shoot, I was sweating. I was just coaching. But, I think Amanda and, Clark and Henry do a really good job making sure that they're ready to go. I thought they did a pretty good job prepping them. We obviously got to continue to do a better job making sure he's hydrated properly and whatever else he needs to have going in the games. But this has been twice now this year. Aiden Sherrill had the one deal, and then, LeBaron's had it. So, those 3 are doing everything they can. They're a little frustrated because I think they're all like at the top of the country, probably best in the business at taking care of people's bodies. They do a good job. So, I hopefully we don't have any more of it. But yeah, typically if we got cramps, it's like you said, it's stuff going into the game that they didn't do right. They didn't hydrate. They didn't eat right. They didn't get proper sleep. That's typically what it is. And he did the same thing he's always done. So I don't know what it is with him, but they're looking at every angle to try and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Coach, what's your take on how Amari Allen has adjusted to the physicality of college basketball? 25 points the other night, but only on 1 made three-pointer. Obviously, that game itself was just really, really physical.
Yeah, the best thing Amari Allen has going for himself is all he cares about is winning. That's it. So whatever the team needs to do whatever he needs to do for the team to win, that's really all he cares about. And when you get guys like that, because they don't come around that often, you enjoy the time you've got him because this kid's going to be an NBA player, and you plug him in everywhere you can. He's essentially starting at the 4 for us right now. He can be a point guard. He rebounds it better than anybody on the team because it's what we need to do to win. So he attacks the rim better than anybody on the team right now. He gets downhill and transition the slots. He's more than capable of making threes at a high clip. He's a competitor. So whatever he sees the team needs done to win the game, he's going to go do it. When he rebounds, when he need guys to guard, he's in the huddles telling us to put him on Tanner because he thinks he'll do a better job than anybody else. Give me number 3, he says in the huddle. I can go to war with a kid like that any day of the week. He's reminiscent of, a Herb Jones, whatever it takes to win. I was looking yesterday. Herb was our 4th leading scorer that year. He was league MVP. We won the league. Herb wasn't really all that concerned about scoring. He's concerned about winning. And I think Amari's got the same deal. He's concerned about winning. That's it. And if he needs to score 25, if he needs to get 11 rebounds, if he needs to stop the other team's best player, he's going to do what it takes to win.
Seems like y'all are running a lot less pick and roll this year than years past. Would you agree with that? And if so, what would you say the reason is?
We tried to, when Fleming came in, the NBA, they obviously, there's different styles going on in the NBA. Cleveland had number 1 offense in the league last year. In the regular season, they ran more pick and rolls than everybody, but they opened the floor up with the pick and rolls. You look at the way the Heat played this year, where they kind of opened up, ran less, tried to play faster, getting the seams, getting the slots early. We thought that LeBaron, Amari, even Holloway could kind of get in the slots early, attack before defense ever gets set up without even bringing a ball screen to it. And I think at times we've been good at it, not nearly as good as we'd like to be. We haven't played as fast as we'd want. But the goal is to play faster, not necessarily have to wait for the big or whoever to set the screen, get in the slot a little earlier. We've been pretty good, though, in our pick and rolls at times. So, some of the guys are waiting for pick and rolls, which, depending on the matchups and how they're playing us, makes sense sometimes. But sometimes we want them to play without a pick and roll, get in the lane, play early, to collapse the defense, shrink it, get the ball moving, play off advantage basketball without having to set a ball screen. So I think we need to be more efficient in the pick and rolls we use. Sometimes you say, we're using less, but I feel like some possessions we're running too many. Like, we don't get anything off one, we bring a second up, don't get anything, bring a third up. Now all of a sudden we're down under 10 seconds on the shot clock, and that's not what we're trying to do either. Like, we need to use the one we have and create the advantage and play off that and then play out of that. So we're trying to get better on offense. I think we're still, depending on which metric you're using, whatever metric you look at, we still got a top 5 offense in the country.
It seems like less production, not necessarily less.
Yeah, we're not as efficient in our pick and rolls as we'd like. And I feel like sometimes we're running too many pick and rolls and we don't get anything off it. You run one, don't get anything, pull it back, run another one, don't get anything. Like we're getting a little frustrated doing that. And then you need to learn how to use the one they get. These guys are trying to go play at the next level. Whether it's Europe, wherever, they get 24 seconds. You can't run 3 pick and rolls. Like you got to play off the first one and learn how to create an advantage off it.